What's up guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how to make the easiest loaded baked potato ever in the most common kitchen appliance in the world, the microwave. But I got something a little extra special for you. We're going to be reviewing 4 different microwaves to see which one of these bad boys do the job the best. Alright guys, meet me in the kitchen, let's make it happen. First things first, let's take a look at these ingredients. Here we have 4 russet potatoes, we got some green onion, we got some sharp cheddar cheese, butter and bacon. Doesn't get much more simple than that. Pretty straightforward, delicious, loaded baked potatoes. All right, my friends, we're gonna be reviewing 4 different microwaves. I'm gonna list them in order of price point, starting with the least expensive, which is this beauty right here from Mainstays. This one clocks in at only $55. Very economic option here. Next, we have the Black & Decker, which is coming in at $71.40. About $21 more, a little bit prettier in my opinion. Got a couple more functions in there, a little bit more space as well. This one's a little bit larger. Now, speaking of space, one of the things that I immediately noticed about the Mainstays is that you can't fit a normal size plate in here. So when you go to heat up your leftovers, you're gonna have a little bit of a trouble with that, so you're gonna have to, use something a little bit smaller like Tupperware. But the good news is we should be able to fit a potato and some bacon in here, so we'll be in good shape. All right, so next up, in terms of price point, we have the Faberware, which is $83.39. And then last but not least, we have the Gallants, which is $89.99. Just a touch more expensive than this one. And now as for the plate test, standard size plate, fits right in there, no problem. Now for the sake of today's experiment, we're gonna prep all of these potatoes exactly the same. They're also just about all the same weight, which is all that matters when it comes to cook time. So we've gone ahead and cleaned these potatoes. I'm gonna use a knife or a fork and put some holes in them on all sides. Then we're gonna wrap them in a damp paper towel and place them in the microwaves along with the bacon. Bacon and potatoes typically cook about the same time in a microwave, about 8 to 9 minutes or so, depending on how much bacon and how big your potatoes are. So we're going to put these to the test and make sure that the bacon comes out crispy and the potatoes are nice and tender. In theory, you can have a whole meal here, all fresh out of the microwave. All right guys, so to keep it fair, we're gonna do 2 pieces of bacon in each microwave. The way to do that is to use a plate, lay down a couple paper towels, 2 strips of bacon on top, and then a couple paper towels on top of the bacon. We'll place that potato right beside it, right here, and that'll go into the microwave for about 8 to 9 minutes. Go ahead and pop in our potato and our bacon. See what happens. All right, so here in the Gallants, the bacon appears to be done, but the potato feels like it needs a few more minutes. So I'm gonna put it in there for 3 more minutes. Set this bacon off to the side. All right, so for the Faberware, same scenario. Bacon is done for the most part. Probably could go in there for another minute actually. But the potato still needs a little bit of time. So we'll put both of those back in there for a couple more minutes. All right guys, so it feels like I have 100 microwaves going on in my kitchen right now. We're waiting on the potatoes to get finished, but I want you guys to let me know down in the comments section which one of these microwaves you think is gonna cook the perfect potato the fastest. Bacon number 2. Took about 3 extra minutes. All right, so here is the least expensive microwave. I gotta say though, the bacon, it's hot. Number 1, but it's the crispiest so far. We did have to cut it in half because the regular plate doesn't fit in there, so you gotta weigh your pros and cons. All right, so this is how our bacon's looking out of the Black & Decker. Nice and crispy, as you can see. All right, guys, so these are the final products here. This is the Gallants. This one is the Faberware. Potato is somewhere in the middle, but it's nice and tender, evenly tender as well, which is important when it comes to baked potatoes. Third, we have the Black & Decker. Potatoes cooked well. And then finally, we have the mainstays. It cooked the bacon as crispy or crispier than the others, which could be a good or a bad thing depending on how you like your bacon. The potato is done, but it's pretty wrinkled. So we'll dig in here and see which one came out the best. The best way to tell is by doing a taste test. But first, we gotta make these loaded baked potatoes. So I'm gonna take a knife, go right down the middle of the potato like so, on all of these. Then I just like to press from the ends to kind of open them up a bit. It's not a bad idea to let them cool a little bit so you don't burn your hands like I'm doing. Wouldn't be a baked potato without some butter, right? So we're going in with a couple tablespoons of butter in each. Just let that residual heat melt that butter in there. Won't take long at all. We also got to get a little seasoning in the situation, so we're going down with just a base coat of all-purpose seasoning. Make sure you get it down in there. Next, we're going to top this with some sharp cheddar cheese. Nice and simple baked potato. You can serve this up with a steak. The whole baked potato can be done in the microwave, as you can see. And you can pick your price point. We got all options for you today. All right, guys, now it's time for the moment of truth. I get to dig in here and do some carb loading and eat some fully loaded baked potatoes. Let's get in here for this one, see how we're doing. Got to get some of that butter and cheese, right? Hot. All right, let's try not to burn my mouth this time. The key to that, I think, is to not go too deep in the potato. So let's just hit the edges. Here we go. That one tastes like a Wendy's baked potato. All right, for the most cost-effective one, I don't want to say cheapest. Here we go, let's see what we got. To this one, I think this might be my favorite. All right, guys, to be honest, there are not a whole lot of differences in the potatoes, a little bit longer cooking time for some of them. If I had to pick a winner, I'm going with the Faberware. For the price, for the tenderness of the potato, how quickly it cooked, the perfect bacon that it provided. One last taste test, and I'm gonna go finish this one off.